Well, it's 11:01, so I will go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. I'm Don Garman from Mirador Capital Partners. You probably know that already. We will keep it short and fun for this Friday. Obviously, it's been a wee bit of a strange, volatile week. I think these are normal. These are going to be normal for a long time, so I'm not going to make too big of a deal about the market. I think this is one of those days where looking at how the market has done or is doing right now is not going to tell you very much about how you're doing right now. So these are those days where it's good to, if you're interested and you want to look on a Friday afternoon, check into your own holdings, check into your account to get a feel for how our positioning holds up on these days when, broadly speaking, at least at this point in time, the market indexes are a little bit in the red. But nothing too eventful, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it. What I am going to spend a ton of time on today, not a ton, just a few minutes, is discussing a little bit about Mirador's philosophy and some of the work that we do that you may not be aware of. So this effort has been led all along by Lauren Moon, who you all know, and is now aided and by Jonathan Ting and supported by everybody, including me. And it has to do with our unique expertise around the Tri-Valley, in the Tri-Valley region, right? So part of the reason that we formed Mirador in 2013 was to on a more granular level, understand and explore what's happening on the private and public equity side, public company side within the Tri-Valley. So in that vein, I want you all to be aware that this week we launched, hopefully you can see this, our 5th version of the Mirador View, 2020 Perspectives on the Tri-Valley, Charting a Path Forward. And in it, you can learn about many exciting things that are going on in the Tri-Valley. And I think we will all agree with this sentiment that the path, longer term, the path forward, the path to feeling somewhat like the world did a few months ago is going to involve good preparation in case something like this ever does happen again in terms of a pandemic, and also being able to find a cure or the science around getting us all vaccinated, so like chickenpox or one of these other things or smallpox that we used to really be fearful of. Eventually, over time, you're not so fearful of it because you're vaccinated and it doesn't feel like a clear and present threat every minute, like I think we've all felt over the last couple months. So I wanted to share a little bit of good news and some bright news happening right here in our own backyard, and very exciting stuff. So Lauren attended a meeting earlier this week that was put on by Innovation Tri-Valley, which I think is a board that she's on. And a couple things stuck out to me that you may or may not be aware of. So I figured I'd leave you on a Friday afternoon with a little bit of hope and a little bit of good news. So I'm going to read it, so please indulge me. So first one that caught my eye was Rick Shumway, the CEO of Stanford Healthcare, which of course bought Valley Care, stated, "We have a strong new collaboration with Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory and Sandia National Laboratory working on coronavirus testing and treatment. Valley Care is one of the only hospitals in the world chosen by the NIH to participate in clinical trials of remdesivir," which we've all heard a lot about, "a virus medication showing some early promise. And we've just successfully increased our overall hospital capacity by 70% in the event we ever need to serve our region in a future pandemic surge." So that to me speaks to preparation. I think we can all say that a month ago or 6 weeks ago that it looked like we may have some massive surge into Pleasanton or the East Bay, and certainly that's not materialized. The numbers in Pleasanton in terms of people who have COVID have been pretty steady and not climbing by dozens or hundreds, but maybe by ones and twos, which is encouraging. Second and final, Rich Rankin, who lots of local people know, who serves as director of Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory's Innovation and Partnership Office, stated that the lab was named part of the DOE, Department of Energy, Virtual National Biotech Lab, and is now unleashing the full capacity of their supercomputers to advance scientific research for treatments and a vaccine through a public-private computing consortium spearheaded by the White House, the Department of Energy, and IBM. The collaboration may shorten the total amount of time needed for FDA approvals, a pandemic game changer. So, wouldn't it be great if the incredible science and the power of the massive computers that sit over at the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratories were able to come to the world's aid in delivering some scientific breakthrough relative to all of this that could ultimately lead to some kind of a vaccine. So that is exciting, and then the preparation and preparedness going on at Valley Care, in advance. Certainly, I think hoping that we missed the massive, avalanche that could have been, but obviously we have to look down the road and understand how to be more prepared than the world was in this particular instance. So on that note, I think we can leave it there. If you want a copy of our report and you didn't get an email this week, check your spam, because we did send an email out to all of our clients and a lot of prospects as well who are interested in our work, and we're happy to get you one. It's work that we are super proud of, and I'm very grateful to Lauren and Jonathan for leading the way in this research, and the report is beautiful. It's a fun read. It talks about a lot of the really exciting things going on in terms of companies, both public and non-public in our region, but also some of the pillars of our community that have been, for decades, serving this community in a variety of different ways. And I hope you take a moment and read about them. These are what makes this community very unique in my mind. Is there are, many multi-billion-dollar companies, public companies that do business here that are, leading the world in innovation in their field. But in many ways, it feels like a very small town. It is a very, it's a cozy place, and people really care for each other. And I think this crazy crisis has brought a lot of us all together. And so hopefully you can set down your COVID research stuff this weekend and look at the Mirador view and have a feeling that I think your region and the region that we're all associated with is on the cutting edge and will help lead the world out of this, wherever we're headed next. So on that note, 11:08, have a great weekend, everybody, and thank you for all your wonderful feedback and for forwarding this to your friends. We truly appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye.